What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni, and welcome to the future of Mech Warfare. Action gameplay and robot customization here in FromSoftware's Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. This is not a promotion, by the way. I'm genuinely interested and hyped about this game, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and start playing with you together on August 25 when the game is released. I'll keep you up to date also in the meantime, starting off with the latest gameplay trailer that was just released, and also keeping you up to date with some of the older material too, so you're up to speed, okay? Now, so those of you who follow the channel know that I am in fact looking for another game, because War Robots that we've done so far, with all its pay-to-win and microtransactions and garbage, sorry to say it, just isn't doing very well right now. And I wish it would be different, but yeah, it's not. And I do have to look for an alternative going forward, and that will be you know, Armored Core 6 as a robot game with heavy customization, action, gameplay, so many different weapons, modules, things you can change on your robot to make it fit your playstyle better, and that all in an environment that does not need microtransactions. I can't stress how much this means to me, and I know for you too, ladies and gentlemen. So let's use this wonderful 4th of July to also make ourselves independent from War Robots, huh? How well I timed and thought this through, huh? Impressed? So happy 4th of July to you, ladies and gentlemen. Also be sure to know the game revolves mainly around an insanely cool single-player experience, but we will of course also focus heavily on the multiplayer arena PvP that the game also has in store for us, where we can show off all our skills and the stuff we equipped on our robot. We are actually a mercenary in the game, an augmented human with implants to the ACU, to our big robot, so we have a better connection with him and can interact and control him better. That's why we are augmented. And I actually made an editing mistake, so we see that part twice. Professional. Yeah, so and we take on missions and contracts in various different desolate worlds to you know, to get better, to get paid, to get new equipment, because it's all about getting new stuff. As we all know in these robot games, you want to customize that robot, you want that new weapon, that new armor piece or legs or whatever, and you see it here. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why we do these contracts and missions. And also we need a lot of skill to do this, because the game requires all our skills in dodging missiles, incoming battles with similar robots such as we are, which are also like taunting us sometimes in dialogues, or even bigger ones, and then big bosses also that we need to fight. And you need to know how to handle your ACU in order to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, more about the big bosses in just a moment, because this is really impressive. You're gonna crap your robot pants when these things attack you, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so before we go into this, like I said, the customization aspect, fitting your robot is the most fun thing about this game. And I'd like to show you and explain to you how Vati Vidya puts it. He put a very nice, he had a very nice way of saying it. So let's listen to him for a sec, how he puts it.
With mech designs and fine-tuning your build is a ton of fun when you start to understand the intricacies of all the parts and how they work together.
He's showing gameplay here from the older Armored Core games, and he explains what it means for him to customize in robots, and yeah.
I don't build mechs so that I can do missions anymore. I do missions so that I can afford new parts and get back into the garage. Fine-tuning my mech to my tastes is a huge part of the joy for me now, and I get it. This is what Armored Core is about. It's about taking any mission and doing anything for that shiny new part you have your eyes on.
You hear that? Sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? That shiny new part that you really just want so much? That's exactly what we, as a War Robots community, also was like. Oh, you want that weapon? Oh man, it looks so good. I want to know. I want to use it, you know? And that's what Armored Core 6 will be about too. You see some of the customization here as well. We're here in the left arm unit, which is a weapon unit where you have various different sniper, action, plasma, whatever guns. We have our right back unit, which is apparently filled with rocket launchers, which have different functions. Some of them are like area splash damage. Some of them have a multi-lock feature where you can spread the rockets evenly to a group of enemies. Some of them stagger the enemies so you can deal double damage afterwards. And yeah, some of them have massive splash damage. Then there's, of course, the arms, generally legs. Very big part is the legs also in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Music is awesome again. Yeah, so the legs were very different because you have big, powerful, normal legs, and you have these reverse joint legs here that are very good for jumping and getting up in the air quick, where you can then use all your air mobility to fight. Or, as you see in the lower bottom, there is also like a spider with 4 legs. Probably heavy carrying potential for heavyweight weapon systems and stuff, but you will not be as mobile in the air probably. So you're gonna have to make sure to find the right setting for the right job and the right mission, and be sure that if you are too heavy, you may have a hard time dodging the incoming rockets and stuff, yeah? So there's generators also with different weight, different energy outputs, and they all have different focus on what type of robot you have. You also saw in the intro there are tank tracks. You can roll around with tank tracks, probably put the heaviest things on you they can find, but you won't be able to, you know, dodge in the air. You'll be now limited to a 2D environment, and you have to dodge there. So you have 4 unit slots, right arm, right back, left back. Then you have 4 frame slots, head, core, arms, legs. You have 3 inner parts, booster. The FCS is the targeting lock-on chip, I think, computer thingy, generator, and expansion slot. And similar to War-Robots, there are different factions, like the Schneider factions. In War-Robots, it would be the Yandi faction, for example, who make different elements of robots. And here the player actually apparently died, and he switched to a different setup. Mid-game, mid-mission, he went into the hangar and changed the layout so he can fight this very agile end boss better, and to have a better damage output. And he manages to stagger the opponent here, and then he keeps some kind of combo up to keep the guy staggered, and in this state the enemy takes double damage, or at least higher damage. I'm not sure how much exactly, but he will take more damage during that time. Very interesting. So also there are these, what we know from the Souls games as fog walls, might be here these gates where you get into the next segment of the map. It is not an open world game such as Elden Ring, but it is open in those missions very well, and you can explore, and probably should, because there's a chance you might find new weapons and modules and stuff for your robot also in the level somewhere, hidden and heavily guarded by something that wasn't really your job to take on, but since you found it and since you took it down, let's see what it was guarding, right? And so yeah, this is what it's about. And you see here heavy, massive bosses, ladies and gentlemen, which, as we all know from the Souls game, the attacks are heavily, very well telegraphed. You can always think and see what attack you shouldn't run into, what you should dodge, and what you shouldn't get hit by. And yeah, can't wait, man. This is gonna be awesome. I should also say at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it is not a mobile game. So those of you who follow me from the War-Robots community, we are not talking about a phone game for your phones. It is coming, however, for all the consoles: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, everything pretty much except for your mobile phones. I know that our focus was mobile, but I'm just looking, on the mobile is where we always have this pay-to-win and these microtransactions, and I want to get a refreshing change where we don't have to worry about this. So let's have a look at this, and let's see what you guys and gals say and think about the game, if you're hyped as well. Yeah, I'll be definitely keeping you up to date. So let's jump into some gameplay. You see, if we were a robot with tank tracks now, we couldn't do what we would do here. We would have to basically find a lower path and cross the bridges and literally physically drive through the level. Now we have a light mech here. That means we have the option to also fly for a limited time and skip certain elements, not have to drive everything. We can fly up from platform to platform. The game gives you the freedom to tackle the missions however you want to, because you have the freedom to design your robot in that way, right? But keep in mind, you could play this also just walking, heavily armed, heavily armored, and slower. Yeah, so let's hop into one more segment here. Like I said, game comes out 25th of August. it's gonna be a great day for me. And until then, I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of news and stuff for you as ready as well. So you see they're in a narrow corridor now, which of course makes dodging a little more difficult, especially when your robot is, you know, utilizes dodge in multiple dimensions. Here you also have some kind of shielding. That was very interesting. You see you can deploy a shield, and in a typical manner of the Souls series, when you deploy the shield, it's just like parrying in Dark Souls or Elden Ring. When you do it at the right time, you'll get that basically that stagger of the enemy, or that additional effect. You don't get a stagger on the enemy here, but you have a higher effectiveness or blocking efficiency during the time when you deploy it at the right time. So there is a lot of skill elements to the game that you need to be aware. So let the customization and gathering of parts begin, ladies and gentlemen, once that game comes out. Here there's also some kind of, you know, scan through the next area or room where he was able to already find out what the next enemies are. Interesting here, he sends all rockets at one target, right? And for the next targets, plural, he's dividing, he's doing, instead of the hard lock on, he's doing the soft lock on, where he locks on to multiple opponents at the same time, and now he fires 4 rockets, 2 at each target, and spreads them automatically evenly, which allows you to get rid of both enemies and then focus on the last guy, which he tackles with heavy cannons and gives him some kind of melee ramming ability. So yeah, ladies and gents, let's get ready for it. Tell me what you think about it, and yeah, I'm so hyped. Let's get into this and have a ton of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe, as brutal as a man can hit, for more. Thanks for bearing with me. You guys are awesome as always. Manni signing off. Bye bye.